I'm a lifelong resident of Toronto. I was born, raised, and still call the Scarborough Bluffs area home. I attended university here and raised my family in this great city. And although I will admit I have one flaw, my daughter did escape to Edmonton. Perhaps I have more flaws, but and I guess there's no accounting for some decisions. I truly do believe that there's no more region, no more diverse, dynamic, or exciting to live in. In my first few weeks on the job, I have learned many things. First, the support the members provide to BILD. The networking, education, and information sharing events that we host would not be possible without the member commitment to lead and participate in these forums. For this, a sincere thank you from all of us. Second is the passion demonstrated by the BILD staff. I have met with every member of the staff since I've joined to learn about the work they do and ask them to share ideas on how we can improve the value we offer to members. I've been overwhelmed by the range of ideas that have been brought forward, and they have been very impressive, very thought-provoking, but always centered on how we can do more for the people in this room. Those ideas will be reflected in the work as we move ahead. And I've also been impressed by the strong relationship between our industry, elected officials, and staff at all levels of government. We have several of our colleagues joining us here tonight, mentioning them on the screen here. I thank you for your support for our industry. I thank you for your partnership, and I thank you for being here this evening. And while we may not always agree on the path forward, I value and respect the candor of our discussions, and I look forward to working with you as we move forward. Beyond the personality and the culture of this industry, I've also been struck by the economic impact the sector has on our region. These are numbers that you're all familiar with, I'm sure, but when you sit back and think about what we do every day and how important it is for the region, it's something to think about. We employ over 174 people in on- and off-site jobs who are paid over $10 billion in wages, and this industry generates $30 billion in investment. Indeed, our sector is a key driver of the economic health of the GTA. But there's more than money to this industry. I've been inspired by the innovation that I see in both residential and non-residential projects across the region. Projects are underway using heavy timber to build 6-story buildings, something that BILD lobbied for. And innovation is not only new materials and products, it's also a way of thinking. As governments promote intensification, members are thinking on how to use land smarter and build livable communities where residents can work and play and ensure that walking is an option where you need to get to go. Our members are also committed to ensuring that commercial projects that we build are sustainable by including such things like electrical vehicle charging stations. I'm sure there's going to be a competition for those as we move forward. And drought-tolerant planting, to name but a few, to make sure that we're doing the right thing, not only for our buildings and the people that work in them, but for our broader environment. And speaking of innovation, BILD continues to innovate as well. You may have seen our banner on the way in, but we'll be adding a 4th home show to our portfolio this fall called Home Fest. This show will address the changes in your home as you advance through the different stages of your life. And Nick, I was born in 1960, so I'm looking at different stages than you are. And finally, from a perspective of learning about this industry, I've been humbled by the societal importance of the work this industry undertakes. What we do is more than rebar, wood, screws, drywall, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, lighting, the draperies, the list goes on. What we do is build homes that are part of people's families and offices where people work. Simply put, our work provides the foundation for people's lives, and I can think of no more important industry than the one you represent and we are serving. But I also know that more can be done and must be done. If you look to the future, StatsCan projects that the GTA will grow yearly by 110,000 people, and that the region's population will reach 9.4 million by 2041. That's just over 20 years away. So if you imagine what that's like, that's the entire populations of Vancouver to the west and Montreal to the east moving to the GTA. I think there's going to be only one rule: the Leafs are getting better, so they can't become Leafs fans. But our responsibility as an industry and as an association in the context of this growth has never been greater. In this context, BILD will focus on two pillars. First, we must ensure that government policies and regulations are developed and implemented to accommodate for the unprecedented growth forecast for the region. In particular, we must focus on ensuring that land use policies and approval process are structured to accommodate growth. I heard in the lobby chatting with somebody that it took them 14 years to get a parcel of land certified for development. That just can't happen when we're adding as many people that we are to the region. And the cost of, and in addition to making sure that land comes on stream in order to provide homes for our new neighbors, we must assure that the costs associated with that land will be fair and balanced. Over the course of the coming weeks and months, we'll be working with our colleagues at the Ontario Home Builders Association to ensure our industry message is heard loud and clear as part of the upcoming elections. A cornerstone of this work will be to leverage OHBA's proposal of a housing pledge. These pledges will outline what our industry needs in order to provide affordable new homes and office space and quicker approval processes for all projects, including the renovation sector. We will be asking candidates across the province leading up to the June 7th provincial election to sign these pledges and continue with this work as we lead into the October 22nd municipal elections across the GTA, and once again asking candidates that are standing for public office to support the industry that provides people homes and places to work. Our election work will have many components. We'll be hosting a series of member events with candidates across the GTA. We'll be developing a special website that will capture our issues and provide a way for each member here today to communicate with your candidates in your neighborhoods and making sure our issues are front of mind as we move forward into the 2019 and beyond. And finally, BILD can do so much more. We have so many platforms, and we'll be leveraging our home shows, where we get 120,000 plus people walking through the door, our social media platforms, and working with editorial boards across the region to make sure our voice is heard and we stand up loud and clear and proudly for this industry. I'm looking forward to that work. Secondly, and perhaps more importantly, we'll invest time and resources to make sure our industry story is told. Of all the opportunities I see, and there are many, this is the greatest one, and in my opinion, the most urgent. Our industry reputation does not reflect the work that we do and how we do it. We have much to be proud of, from the jobs we create, the innovation we offer, our commitment to sustainability, and the many, many causes we support. We have no greater asset than our reputation, and telling the right story is an opportunity for this industry to set itself apart. Over the course of the next several weeks, I plan to reach out to leaders in our industry to ask for their assistance and commitment to help craft and deliver this important message. In closing, in addition to the economic impact we have, in addition to the work that we do with government and partnering to get the right policies for growth, in addition to making sure we build the right reputation for our industry, I think we can never lose sight of one important and fundamental reality, that our members are responsible for running successful businesses. Without the entrepreneurial spirit and drive that defines this industry, the jobs, investment, supporting a good cause that the regions depend on would not exist. And I think we have to remember that as we look forward and reshape the framework within which you operate. But in order to ensure that we continue to fulfill all our responsibility as an industry, we will work with government to make sure that we create that framework. My final thought, I have a belief that whether you work for government or one of our member organizations, we're all in the business of serving the same individual. The only difference is that the way that we refer to them. For government, it's voters. For our members, They're customers that are buying your homes or completing renovation projects or leasing offices. But when you step back and stop and think of it, in the end, it's really all the same person. We just go to market differently about them and we approach them differently. And as such, when you realize that, we really do have a common responsibility. And on behalf of BILD and the great team that we have, I'm committed to working tirelessly to ensure that we do our part to help our members fulfill the responsibility that they so passionately care about. Please enjoy your meal, enjoy the company, and I look forward to meeting you and representing your interests and celebrating our collective accomplishments.